Attention to detail, the right tools, and the right advice can keep productive with a minimum of expense. The investment of time and capital required to get a pond stocked and fishing need not go to waste.
Well, the time of year to fertilize is going to vary a little bit based on your location. People in Kentucky or Ohio are not going to fertilize much as someone down in South Mississippi or South Alabama. You kind of go by water, you do go by water temperature. And usually we'll say when that water temperature gets to be in the upper 50s or low 60s, you start your applications. And fertilizer reacts quicker in warmer water temperatures like any other chemical reaction. So sometimes the first application we may encourage the pond owner to double his rate, maybe put out 10 pounds. And let's say he starts the 1st of March, he maybe put out 10 pounds and come back and check the water color in about 2 weeks. And if it had not up, then you'd drop back and you'd hit it with 5 pounds per acre. The way you determine that water color is by having some type of visual object that you put down in the water. Now we use what's called a Secchi disc. It's a black and white disc tied on a rope. But pond owners will take the lid off of a coffee can, take a wood screw, put it on the end of a pole, a broom handle, or a cane pole, and you lower it down in the water and you look and see at what depth it disappears. As a general rule, it should disappear in the upper 18 inches. So if you can see that down there, it's 3, then the water's too clear. Sometimes it depends on what the soil type is. You may fertilize once a month. We have seen some people go every 6 or 8 weeks. But the key to that again is measuring the plankton bloom by having some type of disc that you drop into the water. We've used a lot of different fertilizers over the last 40 years. We used to use triple 13 and triple superphosphate, and then Auburn used to recommend a 20-25, and then they went to a liquid 10-30. But those are very labor intensive. Several years ago we got with Biologic and worked with them on a water soluble fish pond fertilizer called Perfect Pond Plus. It's a 1248-8, and they put a micronutrient package in there with it. Easy to use, it's concentrated, you only use 5 pounds per surface acre, but this is the most cost-efficient way to increase production in your pond. You can boost the total production anywhere from 300 to 400% by fertilizing it. And you're really you don't go on a time frame as much as you do water color. That change in water color when you get it to turn green, that is a plankton bloom in there. And that's a microscopic food source for your aquatic insects and your bluegill. It's just like when a cattleman tries to grow a lot of beef, the thing down below that he wants to do is grow a lot of grass. To grow a lot of grass, he's got to pour a lot of fertilizer on the grass. So the same thing in fish production. Fertilization will really boost it up. What happens is when you fertilize that pond, it's the phosphorus primarily, the element that creates that plankton bloom. But if you took a water sample out and looked at it under a microscope, that green color would be due to little microscopic plants. Most of them are one-cell plants. And those things are being grazed on by little zooplankton, little animals that are grazing. You'll have some bigger insects that will feed on the zooplankton, and then the bluegill will feed on the insects. And then since your bluegill have a lot to eat, they develop their ovaries and total egg capacity in proportion to their size and the condition of those bluegill. So a fast-growing bluegill will have a bigger egg capacity, and it turns out a lot of offspring. Bass are then going to feed on the bluegill, so more bluegill results in bigger, fatter bass.